For my first technology module, I actually have chosen HTML, CSS, and jQuery. So I thought that since this is the most difficult of the four modules after having a bird's eye view of the requirements, I decided to start with it. And as a nurse, I have limited knowledge about computer. That's why I actually asked a consultant who is actually an IT professional to walk me through the different terminologies as well as the steps that I needed to um, learn. And initially, there were just the two of us working together, and it at least became a little easy. After that, I decided to hire another assistant. She's actually the wife of George, my IT professional tutor, and she made the process a little more easy for both of us. And then the result was actually my personal website. It has um, a picture that says study. It actually catches the person in me since I'm a nurse who works as a test prep coach. So I'd like my website to have to give the reader an overview of what I do. And in my website, it gives you an overview of the different courses that I usually teach as a test preparations coach, ranging from local licensure test prep to international test prep courses. And for my technology module 2, I actually have chosen video editing, and I fell in love with this technology module because I have been involved with creating videos for classroom purposes. And so I realized that there are two main requirements when creating a video. The technical skills that you need to learn, like storyboarding, script writing, and the second most important thing about that would be conceptualizing for the main story. For making it a little more easy for me to deal with the technical aspects, I asked the assistance of some of my office staff who actually helped me set up the equipment for the video shoot. And that's only for the technical side of things. For conceptualizing the storyline, it was initially a little difficult for me because the criteria says it has to be inspiring and interesting. So I thought of eventually the last minute the story of my sister who lost close to 200 pounds in a matter of 8 months. So from being fat to fat. And I love how I ended the video, and I was able to play with my character because I was the talent in the video. And I practically love how I applied the different skills that I learned from this technology module, specifically to highlight the end scene. And for my technology module 3, I have chosen Adobe Illustrator. For Adobe Illustrator, it was actually challenging for me because I'm not an IT professional, I'm a nurse. So um, most of the terminologies are Greek to me thanks to lynda.com and all of the other resources. For my first mode task, I was able to recreate what was asked of me. I wasn't so focused on the small details, which I later on learned that I overlooked. And Professor Hoover was so kind and good giving me the feedback. So I'd like to also highlight the logo that I created initially. I misunderstood the the requirement. So I thought I was just going to prepare a standard logo. And so there's Artist Pencil Design Studio. And then when I tried to figure out from the criteria, I have to design one for Design Studio. And then, of course, I was also asked to create an infographic. I love this because I'm a very artistic person. So I came up with 5 images. The galleon, which symbolizes history, and of course the nurse's cap and the nurse's lamp to symbolize my job as a nurse. And then I love how Professor Hoover provided his feedback using a quick time. And I've learned how to deal with this, and I have since adopted this in giving feedback to my students in the master's class I teach in. Um, and then for my final module, I decided to work on flipped classroom. I love this module so much, primarily because I'm a teacher at heart, and I love how to learn to make discussions a little more interesting, especially for the new generation of learners. I love how the software edu creations is so simple, and it's easy to navigate from embedding pictures to working on those pictures. I love how it made things easy for me, and I really didn't have to have special skills to work on this specific technology. And then I love also how uh, I was able to create 3 test videos that covered some parts of the lecture that I prepared for this specific technology module. And then I was able to finally limit my discussion to be able to come up with a discussion that always lasts for 5 minutes. So I decided to deal with coping with vertigo through the Epley maneuver. And this was brought about by my sister having vertigo, like on the day I was trying to decide on what I'm supposed to be discussing. And I love how the technology modules this technology module required me to plan for a specific set of lesson. And of course, I came up with the objectives that I have here. And at the end of it, I was able to achieve everything.